Hello there. Today for initial checkout, I have a set of Sony Vaio computer speakers. These came from my grandmother's cousin. We actually were talking on the phone recently about the speakers I've been finding in thrift stores this past year, mainly Harman Kardon's. And he said he might actually have an old set of Sony's somewhere and asked if I'd want them. And so I said, sure, that sounds great. And he actually found the satellites right then. So I looked them up on eBay and discovered that they usually come with a subwoofer, and I asked if he might have that. And he said he wasn't sure, but would take a look. And I actually hadn't heard from him about these since then. But today, my mom and grandmother's cousin took my grandmother to a medical appointment, and evidently he used the opportunity to pass these along to my mom to bring home for me, which is really cool. So, let's take a look at these. I think I've got everything here that these would need. There's the power cord, which is hardwired. And the speaker plugs actually are not hardwired. The PC audio input jack for this is. And we have a power and volume knob. And a pretty sizable port here. I'm not sure how big the driver itself is, but it looks like it would be residing right here. And unfortunately, I can see some spider egg sacs in here, so I'm probably going to have to open this up and clean it out. Hopefully that won't cause a problem just for this test. So first I'm going to see if I can get this speaker wire untangled. And it looks like, yep, the satellites are hardwired to each other. Oh no, this one's not hardwired. It's a proprietary plug. Almost like a telephone plug. Looks like this one is the left speaker. And so this one would be the right speaker. The rated input power is 5 watts, and the impedance is 8 ohms. Kind of unusual to actually see an impedance rating on computer speakers. Now, I'm not sure if this PC jack is going to be long enough, or cord, that is going to be long enough. Let's see. Alright, I've moved the sub a bit so I can plug it in. Oh man, I think I got the cords wrapped around each other. So on this left satellite we have the on-off switch and the volume knob, which is not very stiff, and we have a headphone jack. I don't see any kind of a port on these, so it's probably a good thing this came with the subwoofer. Alright, let me get this plugged in. Alright, the power cord is plugged in. Is this in focus? There we go. Alright, so it looks like you have to turn on the subwoofer first. Still not seeing. Oh, you know what? This takes an AC adapter. DC 12 volts. Well, I might have one that works with this. Let's see. Nope. I don't think it is. Well, that's kind of a shame. Looks like the woofer's on. So, I guess I can at least start playing this music that I have pulled up. This is actually the first time that I'm going to be using kind of a YouTube classic royalty-free track for computer speaker testing. So it's unfortunate we can't hear most of the sound through those satellites, but we should at least be able to hear some of the bass line. If there is any. Yeah, there it is. Sounds a little bit rattly, but not too bad. It gets very loud. Very boomy for sure. Let me see if I can pull up a tone generator. Alright, here we go. I'm going down from about 400 hertz right now. I think I should turn up the sub first. So that's not great. We can already hear the sub is crossed over pretty high because it is starting to play 309 hertz currently. But let's keep going. Now the volume is starting to increase. We're now down at 20 hertz, and I can still hear something coming from it. I think it's lost its resonance. But there definitely is something coming from it. So that's pretty impressive. Let's see about how low it can really go. The resonance still good. Alright, it sounds better now. It started at around 34 hertz. So I'd say this could probably play reasonably well down to about 34 hertz. Although there is some port noise. Alright, well maybe I can find a power supply for those satellites. But for now, this is going to be it for this video. Actually, never mind on that. I just remembered where I might have one of these that would work. It comes from a telephone answering machine. I think it's the same voltage, polarity, and plug type, so it should work. And the current output isn't very high, but for this test video, it shouldn't be a problem. Go. It's turned on. Let's start back with that music. Well, the volume knob is down. definitely in need of some deoxit. But I think these sound pretty good. So I am noticing an oddity with these, which is it doesn't sound like the subwoofer volume adjusts as you adjust the satellite volume. So I turn down the satellites, but the subwoofer is still booming. So now they're probably about equal, and I'm going to turn up the satellites. Yeah, I didn't hear the bass come up as much, so I think, unfortunately, these have like a weird design where they have two independent volume controls you have to manipulate at the same time. So it seems to me like what I want to use this for is something that has a built-in volume control that controls its output audio. And then with these, I guess I just have to leave the sub on all the time, or just... No, actually no. I do see there are some dots on here. So I could probably... And it sounds like the audio cable is making some static when I move this. Anyway, I could probably just remember which dot around here sounds good for it at whatever volume I decide to leave it on permanently, and then just turn it off and keep it on that dot anytime I turn it on, and then just leave this one's volume knob in position and just use that switch on there. So that's interesting. Well, I think these actually sound pretty good. I just wish the volume control was easier to use, but especially for a free speaker set coming from a family member, this is really cool. Alright, that is now it for this video, so thanks for watching.